How do you fix climate change? Climate change is a pressing, complex global issue that requires multifaceted solutions across economic, political, social, and technological domains. Fixing climate change involves not only reducing greenhouse gas emissions, but also adapting to its impacts and implementing policies and technologies that can help mitigate further warming. Below is an overview of some of the most effective and practical strategies to address climate change. 1. Transition to renewable energy sources. A critical step in combating climate change is to shift away from fossil fuels, which produce a significant portion of global carbon dioxide (CO2) emissions. Transitioning to renewable energy sources like solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal energy can reduce our reliance on coal, oil, and natural gas, significantly cutting emissions. Solar and wind power. As the most abundant renewable resources, solar and wind power offer scalable, clean energy options. Continued innovation and investment in these technologies can make them more efficient and accessible. Hydropower and geothermal. In certain regions, hydropower and geothermal energy are effective solutions for reducing emissions by providing consistent, reliable electricity. Nuclear power. Although controversial, nuclear power is a low-emission source of energy that can complement renewables, providing a stable energy supply when wind or solar isn't available. 2. Improve energy efficiency. Improving energy efficiency in buildings, industries, and transportation can reduce the demand for energy, leading to lower emissions. Energy efficiency involves using technology that requires less energy to perform the same function, thereby reducing the carbon footprint without sacrificing productivity. Green buildings. Retrofitting buildings with energy-efficient insulation, lighting, and appliances, as well as constructing new buildings to green standards, can reduce their carbon footprint. Efficient transportation. Switching to fuel-efficient vehicles, electric cars, and promoting public transit can significantly decrease emissions from the transportation sector. Industrial efficiency. Industries can adopt more energy-efficient processes and machinery, reducing both energy use and costs. 3. Protect and restore forests. Forests play a crucial role in absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere. Deforestation not only reduces the Earth's capacity to absorb carbon, but also releases stored CO2. Protecting and restoring forests can therefore make a substantial difference. Stop deforestation. Enforcing laws against illegal logging, promoting sustainable forestry practices, and incentivizing forest protection can help preserve existing forests. Reforestation and afforestation. Planting trees in deforested areas, reforestation, or in areas that have never had trees, afforestation, helps absorb CO2 and restores biodiversity. Agroforestry. Integrating trees into agricultural land can improve carbon sequestration, prevent soil erosion, and enhance crop productivity, providing both environmental and economic benefits. 4. Adopt sustainable agriculture practices. Agriculture is a significant source of methane, CH4, and nitrous oxide, N2O, two potent greenhouse gases. Transforming farming practices can mitigate these emissions while promoting food security and environmental sustainability. Regenerative agriculture. Techniques like crop rotation, reduced tillage, and organic farming improve soil health, increase carbon sequestration, and reduce the need for chemical fertilizers. Efficient fertilizer use. Reducing the overuse of nitrogen fertilizers and implementing precision farming practices can limit N2O emissions. Reduce meat consumption. Raising livestock is resource-intensive and contributes heavily to methane emissions. Encouraging a shift towards plant-based diets can reduce the demand for livestock farming, thus lowering emissions. 5. Develop and deploy carbon capture and storage, CCS, technologies. While reducing emissions is critical, carbon capture and storage, CCS, can remove existing CO2 from the atmosphere. CCS involves capturing CO2 emissions from sources like power plants and storing it underground or in other secure locations. Direct air capture, DAC. This emerging technology captures CO2 directly from the air, though it requires significant energy input. Research and development can make DAC more efficient and cost-effective. Bioenergy with carbon capture and storage, BECS. X involves using biomass for energy and then capturing the resulting emissions, thus creating a net negative impact on CO2 levels. Enhanced weathering. This process speeds up the natural weathering of rocks, which absorb CO2 from the air over long periods, providing another avenue for carbon sequestration. 6. Invest in climate-resilient infrastructure. Even with aggressive mitigation efforts, some effects of climate change are unavoidable. Investing in climate-resilient infrastructure can help communities adapt to extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and shifting climate patterns. Flood defenses and seawalls. Coastal areas can build flood barriers to protect against rising sea levels and storm surges. Drought-resistant agriculture. Developing drought-resistant crops and improving water management systems can help ensure food security. Heat-resistant urban planning. Cities can invest in green spaces, reflective materials, and cooling centers to mitigate urban heat island effects and protect residents. 7. Promote international cooperation and policy action. Climate change is a global challenge that transcends borders. International cooperation is essential to achieving meaningful climate action, as emissions reductions in one country can benefit the entire planet. Paris Agreement. The 2015 Paris Agreement set a global framework for countries to limit global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius, with aspirations to stay under 1.5 degrees Celsius. Continuing to support this agreement is critical for unified climate action. Green Climate Fund. This fund provides financial resources to help developing countries mitigate and adapt to climate change, recognizing that wealthy nations bear greater responsibility for historical emissions. Carbon pricing. Implementing carbon taxes or cap-and-trade systems encourages companies to reduce emissions by making pollution more expensive. 8. Encourage individual action and awareness. Individual choices and lifestyle changes can collectively have a significant impact on reducing emissions. Encouraging awareness and sustainable behaviors among people globally can drive demand for environmentally friendly products and policies. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Practicing mindful consumption, reducing waste, and supporting recycling programs can reduce demand for resource-intensive goods. Sustainable transportation. Walking, cycling, carpooling, or using public transit instead of driving can reduce transportation-related emissions. Support climate-friendly companies. Consumers can choose products from companies that prioritize sustainability, increasing the market demand for eco-friendly practices. Conclusion: a collective effort to combat climate change. Fixing climate change requires a comprehensive and integrated approach involving everyone, from individuals to corporations to governments. The solutions outlined here represent a combination of mitigation, reducing emissions, and adaptation, preparing for the effects. While no single action will solve climate change, implementing these strategies collectively offers a viable path forward. Immediate action, innovative technologies, and sustained political and social commitment are essential if we are to limit global warming, protect ecosystems, and safeguard the future of humanity.